Best pub weapon RFB because lots of bullets in the mag. Hit scam, automatic. Pretty easy to find, which is something that I didn't really rank in the other tier list. Very good. Only downside to it is it doesn't kill builds very fast. But I mean, I think you can get 40 bullets in the mag with a gold one. Magnum. I think Magnum's one of the best guns in the game right now. And I know a lot of people in my other tier list video told me I was dumb for putting the Magnum so high because they changed the damage. Like, this gun is pretty dang strong. Right here. 81, 48, 48. It does so much damage so fast that, and it's, you know, the bullets travel instantly. So that's like 120 damage instantly.
Did you really steal that?
What do you
kidding me?
What do you mean steal?
Dude,
Like, very consistent.
fucking gold matador.
Can fly around. The accuracy is really good. Beginning of the game, people just get deleted. No, you don't lead the bullet at all. You aim just exactly where they are. And the range at which it works, like, you can see how small of a dot that is on the screen. I don't even know if you can see how small of a dot that is on the screen. This gun is dumb. Right? 48, 48, 48.
Picking up the Magnum.
Someone else is flying above Metropolis right now? Oh, never mind. No bullet lead on any guns except snipers and shotguns. You don't really need to lead it on shotguns because of how close range it is. Snipers, I've been walking past the op and holding onto a FAL or a Magnum. Like, if I have a Magnum in my loadout, then I just get a short range weapon and I'm done. For pubs, I think I might put the RFB a little bit higher because the Magnum you actually do need to practice a bit, right? Like, the RFB, as soon as you get the as soon as you get a higher rarity one, you can kind of just spray it. It's got so many bullets in the mag, and because the bullets travel instantly, it's got a good stream of bullets. But I feel like the mag does take a little bit more skill to get good at. So I'm gonna leave the RFB higher just in terms of, like, general what people are gonna use. The Uzis, I feel like I ranked pretty high, but they are fun to use, but they aren't the best. Like, they're fun, but they're not good. I feel like the MP5 and the P90 are higher. I'm only gonna put the RFB and the mag in. Oh, we'll put those shield sodas because shield sodas obviously. I don't think I'll move this stuff at all, so we'll just preemptively put all this stuff. Like, they didn't change the way that heals worked or anything. Although, because of how fast, because of how fast you can burst someone with, like, the Magnum or the RFB, like, it feels like you're dying faster now than you were before, but you are, kind of. So, you can't get, like, the reaction time, because the bullets don't have travel time, between when you start getting shot and when you can get builds out. You can probably get 1 or 2 less builds out than you could before, just because of that factor. It's easier for people to push, or easier for them to kill you faster. It feels like they're doing a lot more. I'm still going to put the FAL at the top, actually. Seiko isn't quite C tier, but it's pretty crappy. You can put the sword in A tier where it was before, because it's exactly where I thought it would be. Very solid weapon, but only effective at 1 range, which, you know, you have pros and cons to the guns. The Uzis, I feel like, are good. They just don't have enough damage. If you get purple or gold ones, you got a lot of ammo to deal with people in pub lobbies, and people don't build a whole lot in pub lobbies. Pretty good for pubs, but definitely struggles with builds. And if someone does end up having, like, an M10 or anything, you just die close range. These not having a headshot multiplier is really rough. I think if they had a headshot multiplier and made them do like 12 damage with headshots, they would be more viable. Them not having that modifier and still taking 8 shots to kill a build is a little high. 8 shots, you're shooting 4 or 2 at once, so, you know, 4 bullets per gun, but that's still a lot of ammunition to burn through. One of the main things with the Uzis, you'll notice your ammo count will say like 300, and you're like, oh, I'm good for the rest of the game. And then you'll get in one fight and you'll be out of ammo. So these things definitely chew ammo very hard. MP5s up here. If you get a purple or gold one, you definitely are good on rarity. M60, I haven't seen anybody using it just because of how hard it is to find, I think. Solid, but I haven't been seeing people using it. I think it is actually S tier. We're going to put it at A tier just because, again, you can really only count on this for the first 20 or 30 bullets. And then the magazine goes all weird, or the recoil. But this thing does a lot of damage, kills builds in 2 hits. Very strong, but instead of just holding the trigger the whole time, it has now turned into a hold it for about 30 bullets, stop holding the trigger, hold it for about 30 bullets. Up, strong. I'm not noticed. Some people were saying thought it felt different. I picked it up a couple times yesterday and it didn't feel different. I think it's like I haven't noticed any difference. It's strong weapon, does a lot of damage, but I have been picking up all of these things above it in replacement of it. If I have a gold op or a purple op, I've even just been walking past those. If I have like a 3-star magnum, they much more rely on instant damage than having to lead anything. Also, sniper ammo is a little bit more rare, especially since there's only 2 snipers in the game, so it's harder to come by all the ammo like that. M10, very strong. People are saying it's garbage now. I haven't really been noticing it. I feel like it's still a very strong, or probably is the strongest close range. I feel like the DT is very strong, but again, I haven't seen anybody use it. Like, it's not, you don't find it as often on the ground, and the amount of time and practice it takes to get good at it isn't worth it. If you two-handed it, it actually feels good. Like, I still feel like it's a good gun. Matadors are S tier. I haven't used the UMP very much, but I still think it's probably top of A tier. I think the Seiko earned a little bit of its stuff back because you can pick it up to get Twitch clips now. I didn't account for that. I'm like, oh, this gun's garbage and it has no purpose, but it has a purpose, and the purpose is to BM your opponent in the most respectful way possible. Like you trash them by using the worst gun on them. So it has upgraded from C tier to B tier for this list. The MK, very strong. I feel like the bounce is a little strange on it, though. Not as good as I thought it would be. Like, if it had the old recoil, M6, MK would be the best AR, probably. But this new bouncy recoil that actually ruins your bounce mid-bounce is kind of weird. PX4 is okay, but it's not garbage, it's not good. It's just 1911 PX4 are good, but nobody's been using the pistols and nobody wants to pick them up because there's other things to grab. AK, meh. It's only good at close range, really. Nobody's been picking it up. If someone's head peeking, you basically only get 1 bullet on them. You have to single tap the AK to try to kill them. The Magnum and the Seiko suffer from the same thing. And the Fail will suffer from the same thing too. And the same thing is, it is way too rewarding to head peek.
You're such a good boy.
Thank you. But these weapons all suffer from the same thing, which is they are strong because they are very strong because head peeking is dumb. And it's not dumb in the sense that it's like it's stupid to do. It's the smart thing to do. But the fact that it can be done in a way that is unpunishable. Like, it's not the weapons themselves that's the issue, it's the head peeking mechanic. That's the only way to deal with head peekers is having parabolic bullet pathways currently. But the other thing that they could do to deal with head peekers is just make it so your actual eyes are where your eyes are. Because Pop 1 has an issue where when you're grabbing onto a wall, it actually shrinks your character by a couple inches. And that's why when someone's head peeking you, it looks like you can only see the top of their haircut. If you're standing, your eyes are where your goggles are. But the second you grab a wall, you know how you kind of make that weird, let's make a little picture. This is when you're standing, right? And your eyes are right here. Now, when you grab a wall, your character does this thing where they make like a... So the issue with this is that your eyes are still in the same spot. Even though your head is down here, because your character's making this weird pose, your eyes are still like up here. Even though you're head peeking here, this is where the eyes are. And this is why when you're head peeking, or like we can show the example of Baker killing me and my team today, or the day before yesterday.
Peeking on Sumatchi's team.
So, the issue is this. This is his screen, right? This. You can look around a little bit, but he can see over, and he can see the whole line. His head is over it. His magnum's over it. My screen, I see a gun, and I see this pixel of where his head is. I don't even know if you guys can see that pixel, but there's like one pixel.
The head peek is
right
so
there.
intense.
Yeah,
like,
I can't get it.
The head peek is next level.
Yeah, that's a head peek for sure. Like, there's nothing for me to shoot. There's this haircut, but honestly, the size of the bullet for the op is so big that if I had this haircut dead center, it would miss. I need to aim like above his haircut and need like the side of the bullet to hit his head to be able to hit that shot, or only shoot his hand. If the game could fix this issue, I think the Seiko and the Magnum would probably be balanced, because it would stop being a low risk, high reward thing. Because right now you can low risk, as shown here. Low risk as in there is a very low chance I'm going to be able to hit anything, and if I do, it's probably going to be a hand, so it's not going to be a headshot. And high reward. They have a weapon that deals, up to a third of your health, that can hit you one time and has no travel time. But this has been an issue since the game came out, right? This is the actual reason the Seiko was OP. It wasn't the fact that the Seiko shot faster, required a high skill cap or anything. It was the fact that you could head peek with the Seiko, and this mechanic itself was broken. Head peeking was broken, not the Seiko. And that's why I wanted the Seiko to be two-handed, because the only thing that making a gun two-handed does is prevent this drawing right here. This is why I wanted the Seiko to be two-handed. But if they fix this mechanic somehow, or when you're grabbing a wall, if your character didn't like hunch over and do this weird thing. I mean, if you guys have seen gameplay of like Zero Caliber, when you grab a wall and your legs look like this, your character looks super funky. So it's actually cool that your character like hunches over, because it makes it look, the game just looks better overall. But this mechanic is what screws balance for a lot of their weapons, honestly. It harder. Alright, but anyways, there's my rant for head peeking. So, yeah, I don't feel like it's the gun that's the problem. And I feel like these guns would still be strong if head peeking was changed, because they're high burst potential, and I feel like tier lists are just based on burst potential for the most part. Here's what I think the pub lobby tier list looks like. I think the newer player tier list will... So tier list for newer players is going to be basically completely reliant on recoil. Op, I think, will go down. I put Op in S plus tier for new players, but I think it's going to go down for the strict reason of, because you have to... The bullets work differently for the snipers, and therefore any player that is coming into the game now is going to be a lot more confused why these guns don't work the same as the rest of the game. So the Op's still strong for anybody that has started the game or played on the last update and knows that you need to lead your shots and whatnot. But I feel like the Op's going to be weaker overall for anybody that starts playing the game after this update, because having to actually prepare to learn two different types of ballistics is a little bit different. And very easy reload. Very easy to reload. The reload actually matters in the lower tier list. Like higher tier list, it doesn't matter, because you can still reload the M60 in a quarter second. Lower tier list, because people like need to actually stop. Like you notice when a newer player is reloading, they'll actually stop moving, right? They'll stop pressing their thumbstick. They'll look down at their gun and they'll be like, all right, what do I need to grab again? Matadors and Uzis for new players, you don't need to do that, right? They know they flick to reload. Reloads very fast. They don't need to think about it more than that. Is it right, or does something belong somewhere else? RFB, good at all ranges, hit scan, has a lot of ammo. Nades are an S plus tier because if you could only carry one nade, it would be S. Carry 2 nades. You can kill everybody in the game with 2 nades. The fact that you could insta-kill with nades is the issue. If you could only hold 1 nade, it'd probably be balanced. But since they added the ability to hold 2 nades, Magnum, someone hits you 2 or 3 times, you can still build. They might be able to hit you 3 times in the head and kill you. That's very hard. While they're gonna hit you a lot of times, probably do 100 damage, and then you'll strip. Predators, they could insta kill you, but they're at range to die to a sword or other things. Grenades, you can insta kill an entire team before they know you exist. You can throw one. You can throw these on your teammates while your teammates push. And grenades don't do friendly fire. So if your teammate's like, hey, I want to push, be like, sure, go for it, and then throw 2 nades on that enemy. And that enemy will need to put their gun away to start building against the nades, or take 150 damage from your nade. And then in the meantime, your teammate can just push. So there's literally nothing that people can do. Nades this. Remove shield sodas from the game. Get out of here. Shield shakers existing is great because it actually removes you from the fight to be able to use the shield shaker, whereas sodas you can just chug 6 of them and then fight immediately. There we go. Here's my tier list.